Hello folks. During my last video, when I put headphones on, I noticed that my microphone was all messed up and left to right because of a setting on it. I forget that this is a somewhat fancy microphone, but it should be fixed now. Um, Last time we kind of gave a little bit of context of Big Pharma and all the corruption that's going on, and even though I'll continue to share examples, that we're mostly just going to be kind of jumping straight into the subject, which is magnesium this time. So, just off the bat, it's an essential dietary mineral with a central role in over 300 enzymatic reactions within the human body. It functions as both a cofactor for ATP synthesis, which is your primary energy. Like when you go to lift something heavy, you use ATP, and regular regulator of ion channels, particularly calcium, potassium, and sodium. Magnesium deficiency is widespread due to modern agricultural depletion, processed food consumption, and pharmaceutical interference. So, I'm going to review this a little bit to kind of give you guys uh, the best information. So, starting with cardiovascular health, we have a reduction of systolic blood pressure by 5.6 millimeters of mercury and diastolic by 2.8. I don't remember what garlic was, but you put those two together and you have a moderate dose of ACE inhibitor or calcium channel ion blocker. Um, so chronic magnesium deficiency correlates with higher incidences of hypertension, atherosclerosis, and myocardial infarction or heart attacks. So we have anti-atherosclerotic and antithrombotic effects. There's no numbers here. It reduced C-reactive protein and fibrinogen levels. So CRP is like the first thing they'll test if you had a heart attack or if you're having chest pain. It's a inflammation marker for the heart. Hi, Rippers. Got my big baby over here, and he is a very big baby. Yes. Yes, you are. Yeah, I'm sitting and he's almost head level with me. Yes. Oh, he's a good boy. Anyways, so we have neurological and cognitive function. Oh, sorry, I forgot the prevention of sudden cardiac death. So deficiency is a major predictor of ventricular arrhythmias, including torsades de pointes, which is in nursing school taught to be like if you see that you freak out. Um, wow. 1987 study in the American Journal of Cardiology found that intravenous magnesium, 2 grams in acute settings, reduced mortality by 50% in patients with acute myocardial infarction. So it reduced your chance of dying from a heart attack by half. That's astounding. We have like I said, our cognitive functions. So it's a NMDA receptor antagonist, blocking excessive glutamate release. This 2019 study showed that magnesium L-threonate, 36 grams over 8 weeks, improved cognitive function in mild to moderate Alzheimer's patients by reducing neuroinflammation. Migraine prevention and treatment. Magnesium deficiency is found in 70% of migraine sufferers. Wow. 600 milligrams a day reduces migraine frequency and severity. 2014 confirmed efficacy compared to placebo. Anxiety and depression. I just shared the fun fact today that magnesium is just as effective as a low dose of Prozac in treating depression without that annoying little side effect that it might make you want to kill yourself even more. Um, yeah, which is just ironic for a depression medication. They have an explanation, but it's not likely. Uh, Besides the fact that the scientific community there's a large portion of the scientific community that questions if serotonin is related to depression at all. Because if magnesium is comparable to Prozac, which is a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, then what is Prozac doing to help? And besides the fact that it takes an average of three different medications, three different depression medications before somebody finds something that actually helps them. And even then, they generally have to consider quitting just because the side effects are so severe. And besides the fact that during the SSRI randomized placebo controlled studies, the studies were botched because the whole point of a placebo controlled study is that you're not supposed to know that you're on the medication. But 70% of the people in the control groups taking the medication knew they were on it because the side effects were so severe. So, just some fun facts for you. Maybe magnesium is worth a shot before you take something that might make you want to kill yourself more. Yeah, weird. Uh, Blood sugar regulation and diabetes prevention. Magnesium enhances insulin sensitivity, um, activating tyrosine kinase enzymes and improving glucose uptake in skeletal muscle. So this reported to reduce HbA1c levels by 8% in type 2 diabetics. If you mix that with garlic, I believe that's like 15% reduction. And we already know that garlic is more effective than metformin in controlling blood sugar. So, boy, you just mix that with a little magnesium instead of all the crap that they want to give you that they patented, and you have no side effects, next to no side effects, and very strong drug for diabetes care, thyroid function and detoxification support. Magnesium is required for thyroid hormones synthesis. So, like I said, there's over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body that require magnesium. So, when I say multi-pathway for holistic medicine, like literally 300 different pathways that magnesium helps your body, versus the patented drugs, which literally most of the time only act on one thing and they don't even understand how that one thing really helps. Supports glutathione production, master antioxidant, aiding in heavy metal detox, mercury and lead, which are horrible for you. I just saw a thing about all these. I can't remember the group of people, but I think it was a group of doctors who said that they threw away all the tampons, specifically Tampax and another brand, because the lead in them was so heavy. Makes you question things. Bone density and fracture prevention. Magnesium is the fourth most abundant cation cation in bone tissue. 2018 study found that women with higher magnesium intake had 46% lower risk of fracture due to improved collagen synthesis and osteoblast activity. 46%, so basically half. Halves your risk of fracture. Unlike calcium, which can calcify arteries, if unbalanced, magnesium enhances bone mineral density without vascular risks. Muscle and nerve function. Magnesium deficiency causes muscle spasms, restless leg syndrome, and fibromyalgia, that pain condition that a lot of people claim they have, which might just be a magnesium deficiency. So, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Oral magnesium reduces pain scores by 40% in fibromyalgic patients in a 2017 study. That's ironic, not ironic, but kind of crazy, because I just learned that turmeric with black pepper reduces pain scores by 40% in rheumatoid arthritis patients. Rheumatoid arthritis is famous for the pain being very difficult to manage, but almost cut in half by turmeric. And magnesium cuts fibromyalgic pain in half, or by 40%. Wow. You mix these two very easy to get over the counter medicines together, because it is medicine. It's just as effective, but without the side effects and multi-pathway. And holy crap, you might not need to take opioids, which I believe are scheduled as the second most dangerous drug on the planet out of 90,000 active medications. Exercise performance and recovery. Magnesium enhances ATP utilization. We already mentioned that. Delaying fatigue during intense exercise. 2014 study found that magnesium supplementation improved endurance and reduced muscle damage markers, CK and lactate athletes. Immune modulation and anti-inflammatory effects. So guys, it's so crazy just saying all these things because it's like you'd have to take 30 medications just to get even close to the same thing. But then the side effects would just be, they'd kill you. They'd literally kill you. 2020 study demonstrated that magnesium deficiency exacerbates autoimmune diseases, rheumatoid arthritis, and lupus by promoting Th17 cell overactivity. Cancer prevention and adjunct therapy, magnesium inhibits angiogenesis and tumor growth via downregulation of VEGF and induction of apoptosis in a malignant cell. So a 2018 study found that higher magnesium intake was associated with a 35% lower risk of colorectal cancer, likely due to improved detoxification and DNA repair. Gastrointestinal health increases GABAergic tone in the gut, reducing lactic acid buildup. 2016 study shows that 300 milligrams a day of oral magnesium improves constipation and bloating. Heavy metal toxin, chelation, so acts as a natural chelator binding to lead, cadmium, and aluminum. And also glyphosate, that's wonderful. For those of you that don't know, glyphosate is sprayed all over our wheats, a lot of our beans, a lot of our food. I think it's mostly wheat. So basically all bread or anything containing wheat has glyphosate. Glyphosate is roughly 30% more cancerous than cigarettes. Hence, it's banned in most countries across the world. Yet, it is still sprayed on everything in American food. And we wonder why bread, cancer rates, why bread makes people like the gluten-free thing. I don't think it's gluten. It's maybe the more cancerous than cigarettes chemical that they spray all of our food with. Because people with gluten intolerance can eat bread in France. Uh, I just watched a video on how bread is made in the US and it is disgusting. Like this guy tore off a part of a yoga mat because it's made of the same material that they throw in bread, and he melted it in this crazy acidic solution. I think there's like 11 ingredients on average in bread in America, but there's four everywhere else. So if you've wondered what the what the jokes about Americans are, like what the things that we get flack for, it is our health, how fat we are as a country, uh, and our food. Like the food is it's just crazy. Like the stuff that they put in our food that is allowed to be put in our food. Brings me back to one of my favorite memes, which is as of recently, which is I had to drive by 4 vape shops and 6 alcohol stores to go pick up my illegal raw milk because the government cares about my health. It's ridiculous. So we have optimal magnesium sources and bioavailability. So bioavailability is very important. In a little short I made earlier, I had glycinate or glycinate. I'm not really sure, but the bioavailability is very high. I think oxide is pretty. Oh, it's not even on here. Huh. Interesting. Anyways, oh, yep. Avoid magnesium oxide for the poor bioavailability and constipation. So I guess glycinate, I was having somebody ask this the other day because most of the studies have been done with magnesium oxide. Um, wow. I wonder what using glycinate or glycinate for these studies would show benefit-wise if mag oxide has such poor bioavailability, meaning absorption, like it's mostly just pooped or peed out. Um, wow, interesting. Signs of deficiency: muscle spasms and cramps, insomnia or restless sleep, anxiety and irritability, high blood pressure, frequent migraines, poor recovery from exercise, and unexplained fatigue. Serum magnesium tests are often unreliable. Only 1% of total body magnesium is in serum. Better markers is RBC magnesium, ionized magnesium, or a 24-hour urine testing. That's good to know. All right, so we have actionable recommendations for optimal magnesium status. Again, I am not a doctor and I cannot prescribe things, even though I'd love to be able to. Um, but these are just dietary suggestions: the pumpkin seeds, spinach, Swiss chard, almonds, avocados, and dark chocolate. Although chocolate is like Hershey, don't eat Hershey's chocolate. It's full of lead and arsenic and horrible for you. Um, Supplementation. Have been hearing about citrate quite a bit. I might look into this. So processed foods, they're horrible for you. It's poison. It's processed food is literally poison for you. Just learn how to cook a couple of things. I just made street tacos the other night. It wasn't that hard. Like it took 20 minutes and uh, it was good. It's like eating at a restaurant in my house most of the time because me and my wife have learned how to cook. So we have uh, comparative analysis: magnesium versus conventional pharmaceutical interventions for common health conditions. I'm so excited to get into this. Oh my goodness. Just look at this beautiful list. I love EDOC. Oh man. Guys, look at all of these medications that magnesium is comparable to in efficacy for treating type 2 diabetes, migraine prevention, depression, anxiety, osteoporosis, chronic pain, insomnia, arrhythmias, and hypertension. Holy smokes. That's a lot of medications. And this is just like the most commonly prescribed medications by doctors. They obviously have 1,000 different ones, and depending on which pharmaceutical company has bought out their interest instead of the interest of your health or what's best for you. Hence, no doctor is really telling people to eat garlic or aged garlic extract, or there's about a million examples. But so just right off the bat, for hypertension, your conventional medicine would be diuretics, which have potassium depletion, electrolyte imbalances. You frequently have to supplement potassium when you're taking diuretics. Or is it hydrochlorothiazide? That is potassium sparing, and it can actually make it go too high. Oh, no, that would not be potassium sparing. Anyways, side effects: ACE inhibitors, beta blockers. So I really wanted to see. Yep. So I wanted to see comparative analysis. So metformin for type 2 diabetes. All right, I'm going to pause real quick and get this to give me a better outcome. Just a moment. All right, we got a better chart. So, beta blockers. Your BP reduction on average is 5 to 10 millimeters of mercury. The BP production for magnesium glycinate and malate is 7 to 15 in deficient patients. So, a deficiency is definitely going to lead to better results. But if if you're not looking at your magnesium, then because I've worked with doctors for a few years now, and a lot of them will do your generalized blood tests, but I really doubt, in my experience, that they would see a lower magnesium and be like, yeah, you need that before we put you on a beta blocker ACE inhibitor. It's just not what they're taught to do. Anyways, ACE inhibitors is 8 to 12, again, 7 to 15. So, another example of how magnesium is better than these conventional medicines, but side effects include fatigue, erectile dysfunction, and kidney damage, just to probably give the most common ones, because man, the list is always so long. Advantage to magnesium is literally everything, and it's $20 a year versus $300 a year financially, with no side effects really at all. For type 2 diabetes, you have an 8 to 15% reduction in HbA1c and a 10 to 20% reduction in deficient patients. And for metformin and I don't even know how to pronounce that, sulfonylureas, something like that. $2,000 a year for type 2 diabetes. Of course, garlic, we've already proved, is more beneficial, as I said above. Um, for migraine prevention, we have triptans or sunatriptan, and the frequency reduction is 1 to 2 less attacks per month. Or maybe that's saying it's only 1 to 2 attacks a month. But for magnesium L-threonate or citrate, the frequency reduction is 30 to 45%. Uh, that doesn't say in deficient people, so I imagine that's all around. Uh, and there's no addiction, which is a very, very common theme in modern medicine. They all seem to be addictive, or if they're not addictive, they have to be um, titrated off of because it's so dangerous to even get off of these medications. If you stop taking magnesium, guess what? Nothing's gonna happen to you except for you'll lose the benefits. Um, Depression and anxiety, yes. So SSRIs, fluoxetine, your symptom reduction is 40% in mild cases. For magnesium glycinate plus omega 3, symptom reduction is 50 to 60% in deficient patients. Of course, I know there are a lot more studies around magnesium, specifically for depression and anxiety, because I did a whole rabbit hole on that. And it's not just deficient people. So for deficient people, it is more effective. In people that have sufficient levels, it's just as effective. So don't let that throw you off, or let that be a loophole for somebody who wants to argue with these studies. We can look into that next. Um, Osteoporosis, fracture risk reduction for alendronate is 30 to 50%. Um, Side effects is just the literal death of your jaw and atrial fibrillation, dysrhythmias. Yeah, that's no big deal. And it's, hey, this one's only $3,000 a month and comes with a little nice side effect of a cancer risk. Again, what's the risk of taking magnesium? And this goes back to why every doctor, in my opinion, I don't think they do it intentionally. They do what they're taught to do. Um, but why the healthcare industry has broken its oath to take care of you. Because why would you start with something that's $3,000 a month and can literally give you cancer? That's like stubbing your toe and me just saying, okay, time to cut off the foot. It's just ridiculous. So 30 to 50%, 46% in deficient women for magnesium. Gabapentin for pain reduction is 30%. Pain reduction with CBD oil is 40 to 60%. CBD oil is another thing that the FDA, as far as I know, still has not approved, even though there are no mind-altering effects. It's because it's natural, guys. I literally had to look a hospice patient in the face. She was dying of, it was either colorectal or abdominal metastasized cancer. And she wanted her mind intact as she passed so that she could be close to her creator and her family. And she did not want all the benzodiazepines, which is the second most dangerous drug on the planet, or the opioids. Again, it's just crazy how many side effects they have. For opioids, it's a very common thing, for a commonly known thing, because of some documentaries that have come out about how they push them on us, even though they're literally horrible for you. Um, Benzodiazepines is not as well known of a one. That's like your Xanaxes. Yeah, I think you're more likely to die withdrawing from benzodiazepines than you are anything else, maybe except for alcohol. It's crazy. So, I mean, oh yeah, I had to look her in the face and tell her that because CBD was not FDA approved, I could not give it to her. And we had to take it away from her. Guys, think about that. I could offer morphine and Ativan to somebody, but I could not rub CBD lotion on them. That is our medicine system. How disgusting, how sad. Um, and right here, this is the same This is a more beneficial pain reduction than gabapentin. Um, Insomnia, so sleep latency reduction is 10 to 20 minutes with cognitive impairment the next day. Wonderful. I love feeling cognitively impaired because of the medication that is supposed to help me sleep, which is supposed to make me feel good the next day, because that's why people sleep, is so you don't feel like crap. Uh, your sleep latency reduction with magnesium and melatonin is 30%. There's a whole host of benefits with melatonin besides just sleep. Um, and there's no sedation or dependence, and it costs $2 a night versus $50 a month. That sounds fairly similar, but uh, Ambien, oh my gosh, versus magnesium, even if they are a similar cost, which is not very common when it comes to medications, conventional medicine versus homeopathic. I'm definitely taking magnesium before freaking Ambien or benzodiazepines. Holy crap. Withdrawal seizures. Yeah, okay. And for arrhythmias, amiodarone, AFib reoccurrence reduction is 30%. Of course, you have thyroid toxicity, pulmonary fibrosis, and about I don't know, 60 other side effects potentially. Magnesium reduction was 25% in deficient patients. So, I mean, guys, key takeaways. It's the stuff I say all the time. Multi-systemic benefits. 300 enzymatic pathways that are benefited by taking magnesium, unlike single target pharma drugs. Turns out God created things on Earth that man has not been able to replicate. That man is not as smart as God. Isn't that just mind blowing? But because luckily, at least right now, we have some laws about patenting what God made, which is kind of interesting when you think about it. Naturally occurring things, they suppress the evidence of the benefits, and they just straight up teach doctors to not even talk about it. So we have lack of dependency and withdrawal, synergy with nutrition, cost effectiveness, a safety profile, and preventative potential. Magnesium deficiency is linked to 70 plus chronic diseases. That's bizarre. So I'm going to look, let's see, future directions, magnesium in a post-pharma world. That's cool. Its primary prevention, synergy with ketogenic and fasting therapies. I definitely have to take magnesium when I'm doing keto, just because of the the initial flush of water loss. Like I'll lose 10 pounds the first week that I do ketosis and take some of my salts with me. This is interesting. Ketones enhance cellular magnesium uptake. I did not know that. Combining magnesium with ketosis may be the future of metabolic medicine. Uh, Epigenetic modulation via magnesium. Studies indicate magnesium influences DNA methylation patterns, suggesting potential for reducing toxin induced epigenetic damage from glyphosate and heavy metals. Yeah, that's great. From the things that they intentionally put in our food. Yeah, it makes you want to go down rabbit holes left and right. Like, why do they suppress the thing that helps and give us the thing that destroys us? Anyways, magnesium as an adjuvant to cancer therapy supports natural cancer protocols by enhancing apoptosis and reducing chemotoxicity. You don't even get me started on chemotherapy. Magnesium is a superior alternative. Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I wanted the studies for the above analysis because people need to realize this is not just from some like generation to generation passed on information. This is all studies. So um we for the 19 milligram um systolic BP reduction versus it's so twice the systolic BP reduction versus a placebo, twice that the placebo and diastolic. That's consistent. That was Journal of Human Hypertension 2008, which is often suppressed by mainstream media. Weird. Um, And a meta-analysis of 34 RCTs found magnesium supplementation reduced cardiovascular events by 19% and all cause mortality by 25%. Wow. Uh, I just listened to a Diarrhea CEO with she labels herself as an anti-aging expert. I really suggest you guys go find that podcast. She says he asks great questions, Steven, with Diary of a CEO. He says if you had to suggest 5 supplements, what would they be? And she said, and rate them 1 to 5. Number one was magnesium. That's why I'm doing the study, and boy, this just really proves it. So we have Source Diabetes Care 2015 with an HbA1c reduction of 1.8%, vaccine glucose reduction of 32 milligrams per deciliter. That's crazy. Oh my goodness, versus 9 in the placebo. The guys, you can't make this stuff up. Placebo-controlled trials are what show the efficacy of medicine. Here you go. This is real. This is science. Um, so for migraine prevention, we have the Journal of Neurotransmission 2016 for magnesium for depression and anxiety. Journal of Affective Disorders 2017, which is censored by Big Pharma. What now? Why? How does Big Pharma have any right to censor natural medicine? Well, they don't, but they have money, and money, unfortunately, rules a lot of what happens. Wow. Uh, Population 30 patients with treatment-resistant depression treated with fluoxetine and magnesium. 58% in magnesium groups versus 43% in fluoxetine or Prozac. Huh. More effective in a HAM-D reduction. Hmm. So, American Journal of Clinical Nutrition 2013, which is buried by the NIH. Imagine that. So that's why I love this AI because people they're like, well, show me the study. If if you do not realize how much influence big companies have in our government, and our government being the people who generally oversee peer-reviewed studies and research in general, um, or just the influence they have over media and the things that you see on the internet, then I have really bad news for you. Um, but the NIH taxpayer funded people to help us with our health, but they're bearing studies that are astounding for magnesium. So sad. Magnesium for chronic pain. It comes from the Journal of Rheumatology, 2017. Wow. These results are just astounding. Even the comparison we did above doesn't even compare. Like 65% reduction in magnesium groups versus 48% reduction in gabapentin. It is more effective than conventional medicine without any of the side effects. No wonder these are all buried. Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine, which was omitted from mainstream search results. No explanation why, generally. Oh my gosh. 35% magnesium group versus 9% placebo for sleep onset latency reduction. Total sleep time increase was 70 minutes a night. That's crazy. Wow. For arrhythmias, suppressed by American Heart Association. Weird, from the European Heart Journal. Oh, gosh, guys, it's so frustrating to see these things. So I want to see, before I end this video real quick, if I can find um, the studies for people who aren't deficient. And pumpkin seeds, 530 milligrams per 100 grams. That's great. Pumpkin seeds are really great for getting the stuff from parasites out of you too. Cool. I want to see if I can find any studies specifically about non-deficient people with magnesium, but still, this is just mind-blowing. Well, they definitely exist. Now I have to find out how many peer-reviewed studies there are on magnesium. There was over 10,000 on garlic, and if we had to go through and like expose how each of those has been suppressed, this would be a depressing channel. But maybe we need to, because Big Pharma needs a big check. Which just makes me want to say that I'm not suicidal and my heart is great. I exercise every day because people tend to disappear when they start talking about stuff like this. Um, so we have a 2 systolic reduction and a 1.78 diastolic reduction. Um, in prehypertensives, reductions were significantly greater, being 5 to 6. Um, and so this is the studies of people who are not deficient in magnesium. It still has plenty of benefits. Um, and it goes through each of these. I'm not gonna take time to uh, go through every single study, but I do want you guys to see that this is real. Um, so for memory, 40% on digit span task and 3 times better than the placebo for long-term recall. That is in non-deficient people. Um, and many studies focus on deficient individuals. Uh, Research shows that even those with normal magnesium levels exhibit reduced resilience to stress. Huh. Um, so pain scores. Oh, yeah. So 45%. Uh, was that five? Yep, that's fibromyalgia and inflammatory markers, or CRP, by 22%. Um, Gosh, yeah. So these numbers are very similar. Of course, if you're deficient, you're going to have more benefit, but the benefit is still just wild. Um, all right. I think that's going to be it for this video. If there's anything, we have all these synergies with cinnamon, which I'm taking every morning, Ceylon cinnamon specifically. Berberine. I've been hearing a lot about berberine, and I don't know anything about it. If you have a suggestion for the next study, or or if you have any suggestions for things you want to see during these videos, please let me know down below. And we're a super duper small channel, mostly just friends and family that watch this, so I will take them very seriously and try to implement them. All right, thanks guys. See you later.